as Reptile gets ready to go one-on-one with Logan Paul in this open MMA tournament. Yes, Reptile, folks, representing the Mortal Kombat universe, facing Logan Paul, who has often said he wanted to be in the UFC world. Reptile giving him that opportunity. A win over Reptile would definitely impress a lot of people, as Logan Paul taking it to the reptilian member of the roster of Mortal Kombat. Logan Paul, of course, much like Jaden we saw earlier, having to compete with something that may not necessarily be human. But if we're going to call a spade, I mean, I guess in retrospect, at least with Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles, you don't have to worry about him ripping your head off or literally ending it, as from the universe that Reptile's from, those things can happen. Leonardo at least has some kind of reserve, as after all that abuse, one straight kick to the face takes down Logan Paul from Reptile, who misses on that exchange. And Logan Paul one step ahead. There's a huge right hook. Logan, who he's going to get a toy. It's a baseball bat. Reptile's right there. Reptile, of course, related in some fashion to Hall of Famers Scorpion and Sub-Zero, the Fire and Ice. This year, two members of the latest class of this year's Hall of Fame. The tag team, I should say, for this year's Hall of Fame. Fire and Ice, one of the really pinnacles of the tag team division here. And Reptile following his brother's footsteps, I guess. On our show, anyway, Reptile never really lasted long here on the show, as it was always Scorpion and Sub-Zero who always rose to the occasion and became the vital force that they are, right hand. As Logan Paul taking it to Reptile. Big shout out to Jaden Brooks, who had a rough time there with Leonardo in the first match of the third round, falling victim to Leonardo, who was absolutely ruthless. And of course, Logan Paul is someone who Jaden Brooks knows all too well, as Jaden has a couple wins over Logan. Unfortunately, Logan is facing Reptile, and Jaden had to face a Ninja Turtle. So when you have those things in mind, who knows what can happen. Reptile sending Logan Paul back in the ring. Front face lock helping him up. And there's this, oh goodness me, vicious venom to the face, the kick to the head. Misses the Superman punch. There's Reptile to follow up. And brutal. That's a point for Reptile. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. That was absolutely horrific. Baseball bat's still in the ring. No one's used it. Snap. Nice suplex. Look at this. Insult to injury. Logan Paul, who's had a recent history of running with the F4L, even to score with the F4L suplex that he has mocked from the F4L. Short DDT. Paul evens the score, though, at least. Drop kick. And Reptile going to the outside. Paul going to the outside as well. There's still the baseball bat in the ring, and now Paul has introduced a chair to the ring. No one's actually used any of these things as of yet. And here comes Reptile. Nonchalantly walks in. Here's Paul. Oh, up against the cage. Not through it, but into it. Not enough force necessarily to throw him through the cage. Got to admire Paul's guts and glory here. He's given the fight to Reptile. Evens it up with 1-1. And Reptile's still getting up. I think I would have hard nightmares on that. Oh, there he goes through the cage. Paul succeeded in that. Don't even tell me. Of course he's going to go to the top of the cage. Logan Paul going to the top of the cage now. Reptile has no problem going to do that. This has not worked out for people who have gone up here. I want to point that out. Jaden Brooks went up there twice, and it did not work out well for him in the end. And there's Reptile with a running clothesline. Paul runs into a foot to the face, too. And remember, it was Paul who went up here. He thought that was a good idea. I don't know what that was, but it was a fail. And now, Reptile, belly-to-belly suplex on the flesh meets steel. It's going to lose every time. Double feet to the spine. And again. And now, it's Reptile. Vicious headbutts. Paul strikes back up. Right hands. Wait, skull crusher finale. That's it. No. Brutal. Of course, Paul picking that up from The Miz, apparently. Right hands. He lived the first time, not the second time. How about Logan Paul going into the next round? Give Paul credit. Love him or hate him, he was able to take it to a, well, I can't say a person, it's a creature, as Reptile. But that's the good news is he beat Reptile. The bad news is he's going to have to face Leonardo. And his old rival, Jaden Brooks, could not beat him. So that would be interesting. Logan Paul